Hi, if you receive Social Security benefits or you're planning to rely on them in the near future, what I'm about to tell you is absolutely critical. Your benefits are facing serious threats in 2026 that could dramatically reduce the amount of money you receive every single month. This isn't fear mongering. This isn't clickbait. This is a real situation unfolding right now that mainstream media isn't covering nearly enough. Before you think this might not affect you, or that the government will never actually touch Social Security, you need to hear what's happening behind the scenes because the decisions being made right now will determine your financial security for decades to come. Stay with me until the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly what's at stake, who's most vulnerable, and the specific actions you can take right now to protect yourself. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, I'm dedicated to cutting through the noise and bringing you straightforward, honest information about Social Security, retirement benefits, and financial security for seniors and future retirees. I don't sugarcoat things, I don't play political games, I just give you the facts you need to make informed decisions about your future. If that sounds valuable to you, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any critical updates. These videos require extensive research and fact-checking, and your support through likes, comments, and shares helps me reach more people who desperately need this information. Drop a comment below telling me if you're worried about your Social Security benefits. I read every single one, and they help me understand what topics matter most to you. Now let's get into the urgent threats facing Social Security in 2026. The threat to Social Security benefits in 2026 comes from multiple directions, and understanding each one is essential if you want to grasp the full picture. The first and most immediate threat comes from the trust fund depletion timeline. According to the latest annual report from the Social Security Board of Trustees, the combined old age and survivors insurance and disability insurance trust funds will be able to pay full benefits only until 2035. But here's what makes 2026 particularly critical. It's the year when political momentum for major reforms is expected to reach a tipping point. It's far enough from the projected depletion date to allow for gradual changes, but close enough that ignoring the problem is no longer politically viable. Let me explain what trust fund depletion actually means because there's a lot of confusion about this. Social Security has been collecting more in taxes than it pays out in benefits for many years, and that surplus has been invested in special government bonds that make up the trust funds. But starting in 2021, Social Security began paying out more in benefits than it collects in taxes. That means it's now drawing down those trust funds to make up the difference. Once those trust funds are fully depleted, which current projections say will happen around 2035, Social Security will only be able to pay what it collects in current payroll taxes. That amounts to roughly 77 to 80% of scheduled benefits. So if you're supposed to get $2,000 a month, you'd instead get about $1,540 to $1,600. For someone living paycheck to paycheck on Social Security, that's absolutely devastating. But the threat isn't just about automatic cuts when the trust funds run dry. There's serious political pressure right now to make changes before we get to that point. Various proposals are circulating in Washington that would reduce benefits, raise the retirement age, change how cost of living adjustments are calculated, or implement means testing that would reduce or eliminate benefits for people deemed too wealthy. Each of these proposals affects different groups of people in different ways, and 2026 is shaping up to be the year when serious legislative action might actually happen. Let's talk about the proposal to raise the full retirement age. Right now, if you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. That's already higher than it was for previous generations. But there are proposals to gradually increase it to 68, 69, or even 70. Proponents argue that people are living longer and healthier lives so they can work longer. But critics point out that this disproportionately hurts people in physically demanding jobs who can't work into their late 60s, and it ignores the fact that life expectancy gains have not been equal across all income and demographic groups. Lower income workers and certain minority populations haven't seen the same life expectancy increases as higher income workers. If you're planning to retire at 67 and suddenly the full retirement age is pushed to 69, that's 2 more years of work or accepting a significantly reduced benefit if you retire early. Another major threat comes from proposals to change the cost of living adjustment formula. Currently, Social Security benefits are adjusted annually based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Some lawmakers have proposed switching to a different measure called the chained CPI, which typically shows lower inflation rates. This might sound like a technical detail, but over the course of a 20 or 30-year retirement, using a formula that shows lower inflation would result in thousands of dollars less in cumulative benefits. Your buying power would erode year after year as your benefits failed to keep pace with your actual living costs, especially for healthcare, which tends to inflate faster than general consumer prices. Means testing represents another serious threat, particularly for middle-class retirees who worked hard and saved diligently. The idea behind means testing is that Social Security benefits would be reduced or eliminated for people with incomes or assets above certain thresholds. The argument is that wealthy individuals don't need Social Security and scarce resources should go to those who truly depend on them. But this fundamentally changes Social Security from a universal insurance program that everyone pays into and everyone benefits from to a welfare program. It also creates perverse incentives where people might be discouraged from saving for retirement if they know their own savings will disqualify them from receiving the Social Security benefits they paid for throughout their working lives. There's also the very real threat of increased taxation on Social Security benefits. Currently, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be subject to income tax depending on your total income. But the income thresholds that determine how much of your benefit is taxable haven't been adjusted for inflation since they were set decades ago. That means more and more people are finding larger portions of their benefits subject to taxation, even though their real purchasing power hasn't increased. There are proposals to further increase taxation on benefits or to lower the thresholds, which would effectively reduce your take-home benefit even if the nominal benefit amount stays the same. So what does all this mean for you specifically? If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits, you're somewhat protected because politicians are extremely reluctant to cut benefits for current recipients. However, changes to cost of living adjustments or increased taxation could still affect you. If you're within 5 years of claiming benefits, you're in a particularly vulnerable position. Any reforms passed in 2026 could very well affect you before you even start receiving benefits. You need to be running different scenarios in your retirement planning that account for the possibility of reduced benefits, higher taxation, or a later retirement age. If you're in your 40s or 50s, decades away from retirement, you should absolutely expect that the Social Security you receive will be less generous than what current retirees get. This doesn't mean Social Security will disappear entirely, that's extremely unlikely. But it does mean you need to take more personal responsibility for your retirement security. Max out contributions to retirement accounts, consider working longer than you originally planned, and build multiple income streams for retirement rather than depending primarily on Social Security. Here's what you can do right now to protect yourself. First, get a realistic estimate of what your benefits will be. Create a My Social Security account on the Social Security Administration website where you can see your earnings history and projected benefits. Then run scenarios where you receive only 75 or 80% of those projected benefits. Can you still maintain your desired lifestyle? If not, what changes do you need to make now? Second, accelerate your retirement savings if at all possible. Every dollar you save in a 401k, IRA, or other retirement account is a dollar that gives you independence from whatever happens with Social Security. Third, consider delaying when you claim Social Security if you can afford to. Every year you delay past your full retirement age up to age 70 increases your benefit by 8%. That's a guaranteed return you can't get anywhere else, and it provides a hedge against benefit cuts. Fourth, pay attention to the political process. Social Security reform is a politically sensitive topic, and lawmakers pay attention to public opinion. Contact your representatives in Congress and let them know how you feel about various proposals. Join advocacy groups like AARP that lobby to protect Social Security benefits. Your voice matters more than you think, especially in an election year like 2026. Fifth, diversify your retirement income sources. Don't put all your eggs in the Social Security basket. Consider part time work in retirement, rental income from property, dividend income from investments, or other sources that aren't dependent on government policy decisions. I also want to address something important. There are people and organizations that will try to exploit your fears about Social Security. You might receive calls, emails, or see ads claiming there are special programs to protect your benefits or ways to get extra benefits you didn't know about. Be extremely skeptical of these claims. The only official source of information about Social Security is the Social Security Administration itself. Nobody can guarantee to protect your benefits from legislative changes, and anyone claiming they can is likely running a scam. Similarly, be wary of financial advisors who use fear about Social Security to push you into questionable investments. Get information from trusted official sources and consult with reputable financial professionals who have fiduciary responsibility to act in your best interest. The bottom line is this: Social Security benefits are genuinely under threat in 2026 and beyond. The financial math of the program doesn't work long term without significant changes. Those changes will affect millions of Americans, possibly including you. But being informed and taking proactive steps now can help you weather whatever changes come. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope everything works out. Take control of your financial future, plan for multiple scenarios, and stay engaged with the political process that will determine what happens to Social Security. Thank you for watching this urgent update on the threats facing Social Security benefits in 2026. I know this information is concerning, but knowledge is power, and understanding what's happening is the first step to protecting yourself. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who needs to understand these risks. The more people who are informed about what's happening, the better chance we have of influencing the outcome. Leave a comment below with your thoughts, concerns, or questions about Social Security. I read every comment and they help me understand what content would be most helpful to you. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because I'll be bringing you regular updates as this situation develops through 2026 and beyond. Your retirement security is too important to leave to chance, so stay informed, stay prepared, and take action to protect your future. I'll see you in the next video.